Hi everyone, welcome to Not Your Average Co. Today we have two very special guests and they aren't your average C-suite. So today we have our CEO, Chris Flakus, and our COO, Kate Mays. And I am so excited to have them here today. They are just the coolest two people I know. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kate, for taking the time to do this podcast.
Of course.
I just wanted to start with, you guys have been here for a while at CSI. Kate, 17 years, Chris, 21 years. Going back to that very first day, Kate, Chris, and where you are right now, sitting in this room, recording this podcast, what was your thought then, and thinking back to then, how are you feeling about everything?
Well, maybe ladies first on this
Yes.
one, because it's been quite a journey, and
Yes.
it's much different now, let's say that.
It has been an incredible journey. As I said, it's been 17 years. I started off as an intern here, and never in my wildest dreams would I be sitting here in this office, in this corner as a COO, sitting alongside my CEO.
Yes.
But it's been incredible, and the more incredible thing is to think about our trajectory ahead. I'm hoping we look back several years from now and say, wow, I can't believe how much we've grown since then. We've had big goals along the way, and every year we increase that goal more and more, but it's really awesome to see some of the people, how much they've grown professionally and personally, and we've done it along with each other, and it's become a family that's grown quite big.
Definitely. And I think too, you guys exemplify the family feel that we get here too. You guys really care about every employee here, and you take extra steps every day to take care of everyone here. And Chris, as CEO, how important is it to you to take care of all your employees, and what does that mean for you?
Well, I think CSI has only gotten to where it's gotten because of the team and because of the people that we have. So, a big part of my job, and Kate feels the same way, is, you got to make sure that we reward people and take care of people, especially the ones that are helping us, hit our goals. And I think I was laughing as I was thinking about what Kate just said. You look back over 20 something years and you think about what was important and what the goals were 20 years ago versus where they are now. Once upon a time, we were like 50 offices in 50 states, and we're going to be, the top staffing company. And I think back to different iterations of CSI along the way. And now, you think about sort of the evolution and the maturation of our company, and you're like, wow, I can't believe that we're sitting here doing a podcast. That would have been not when we started out sitting at picnic tables, for God's sake, and folding tables with folding chairs, and we're smushed into a little office, and so things have definitely changed. But that's because of people, and I think you only get where you get with having a great team, and so you certainly have to take care of the people that are helping you hit those goals.
Yeah, and so I have a question, for you, Kate, going from a staffing company to now project-based work, what does that look like for CSI and for sales here too? What does that mean for you as a chief operating officer?
Absolutely. It's, the same mission has stayed the same. I mean, Chris has always led us down the same vision. There's a lot of different ways that we'll continue to get there, and we continue to evolve, and that's what's been pretty cool. Chris has always empowered us from, to use our creativity and to bring different ideas. Sometimes they're silly ideas and we laugh at them, but sometimes they're ideas that stick, and it's been, that's what really makes us special is really just that culture of evolution and flexibility and creativity of how we can evolve our process. But really at the end of the day, it's still staffing and it's still putting people to work in different capacities. And so I think we've always been a sales focused organization, which really means we're focused around clients and what they need and what kind of solutions they need. So the solutions have changed where our clients need a bigger type of project solution where multiple layers, and us to really involve in an audit and project management and everything like that. And so we can get creativity around it, and we can really package it differently. And I think that's what's cool. So our leadership, Chris, has allowed us to do that. But at the end of the day, it's been sticking to the same mindset of really, a solution that our client needs. And staffing over the past 17 years has been a major problem in different ways. We've gone through lots of different things in the marketplace and in healthcare, and a lot of, scary situations for clients. So, we can provide good people and help them through those times. And I think as long as we stick to the same value of that's our mission, we're able to have the creativity to build a solution around it.
I love that.
And I think it's just an extension, right? I mean, this is what we do now is just an extension of what we were starting all those years ago. And I think it's a lot of clients, after time, you've proved to them that you can handle more and more. And that has helped us evolve and grow. And I think, again, it's just good people out there doing good work, clients trusting you more. And that just comes with time, right? And I think that's one thing that's about this company is that we've been willing to do the hard work and try new things. And like Kate said, some things you try seem silly at the time, but it turns out to be great. And other things you try don't work, but you keep trying new things. But at the end of the day, you're keeping everything focused on clients and their satisfaction.
So you both have worked with clients before. What would you say is the most important quality that CSI tries to bring that sets us apart from other companies when we meet with our clients and how we retain those relationships? I'm going to start with Kate, but like, how would you say you've maintained relationships with clients even though you've moved up in the company, and how you help sales grow themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think Chris and I both came from a sales background and sales-minded type of thinking. And I think that's really our core competency is those relationships and our focus around sales. And I think we say sales, but it's different. It's really a relationship. We're not trying to upsell. We're not trying to sell things that we can't do. We try and work with the client and really help them out. But I think the relationship is what's key. And, you'll see clients that we have known and worked for 15 years, 17 years, 20 years. And it's really cool. I mean, we know everything about a lot of our clients. We know, when their kid's birthday is, and we'll send them a note. Well, we know what kind of fundraiser they're participating in so that we can participate here. So I think it's a relationship is key. And no matter what industry, if you're going to be successful at what you do, you have to take care of your clients, really get to know them. And it's fun. We travel to our clients, and, I've stayed at a lot of clients' houses. I've gone and seen them and seen their families. And, that's something special. And it's something that I think really separates us from other companies.
Yeah. Chris, would you say you still stay in contact with some of the clients that you've stayed?
I completely agree with everything Kate said. I think, one thing about CSI is we are all about relationships. I think we decided years ago that we would less clients, more relationships, less clients, more offerings. I think that's what we focused on, is just really enhancing a relationship. And I think a lot of people talk about that stuff. If you think about staffing, a lot of companies all say the same thing, but we really do take that seriously. And I think build that relationship, keep the relationship, and not try and promise things that we can't deliver. That doesn't mean that we don't, sometimes wish we'd done things a little bit differently, but I think we learn from our mistakes, and then we try not to make those same mistakes again. And each time we have success, then we build upon that success. And I think clients appreciate that. We're very honest and transparent with what we can and can't do. But where we are right now and where we're headed, we're kind of in uncharted territory a little bit. We're trying some new things, and we have new offerings that we have to prove with time. But I think clients trust us, and I think that helps.
And with our new offerings too, I think a lot of people that have interacted with us at some point know us as CSI Healthcare IT, CSI Tech, CSI Professional, CSI Financial. But really this year, Chris, you gave us a North Star like 2 years ago, like to have this path of being more than staffing.
Yeah.
And now we have this mission to be one brand, one voice, but you said a day ago, it's not just one brand, one voice, it's one brand, one vision.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that and what that means to you, Chris, from a CEO perspective, and Kate from a COO perspective. Like the one brand, one voice, what does that mean to you, Chris?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked it, because I think if you look at the evolution of CSI, for years we had 3 divisions, a couple of times maybe we had a little bit more, but 3 business lines that seem to operate independent of each other, not interdependent. And I think I always, and important to Kate too, and the whole leadership team, get to a point at some point in our future where we just had one overall vision. We didn't have 3 concurrent visions or 3 businesses we were trying to build in parallel. Instead, you're trying to build one company. And so you kind of tear down those walls between the different divisions and just have one overall offering, one overall vision for the whole company. And that is, for the last couple of years, that's been what we've talked about. And now with your new marketing plan, with, we call it OBOV, which I'm having a lot of fun with. But at the end of the day, it's really true that having one vision right out there is very important. So I think people have embraced it. I think internally we're seeing so much growth because people aren't saying, well, I'm in this division or I'm in that division. And there's no more lines between the divisions. So it's one overall big team feeling. You started the whole interview today, talking about sort of a family approach. That's the reality. It's better when we're all feeling like we're on the same team. And I think that's the direction that we're headed, is more of that and less of people being siloed. You think about it, even in back office, like I think we're doing a great job of incorporating a lot of the people that sometimes feel like, oh, I'm not really included in, some of the fun stuff that happens. So the reality is we're all on this team, and the only way we get to be $1 billion company is everybody doing their part. And I think that's a great progression of CSI.
And Kate, for you, you help me bring this OBOV to life. And for you, I always feel like you're so supportive as the chief operating officer here, but you've also been so close to everyone that's been on board this process of taking down those walls and renovating CSI and who we are. So from your perspective, like, what does that mean for you, OBOV? And
well, it's pretty cool. You are very humble, Sam, but what you and your team have done to really push us of having that one voice is important. You looked at the industry and said, to really build that brand recognition, you guys need to have one voice out there to the clients, and it's something that we've embraced and really have tried to put out there. And I think it's a change a little bit. We did have different verticals, and we still have different specialties of how we're able to help with clients. And I think that's important. People are good if they have a narrow focus and a laser focus and are really deep in that expertise. But we still have one brand, one voice. We have the same vision, and we're helping clients. And it's our job. We want to sustain the growth that we have. And I think we all got to work together for that. So, I think internally we have this great culture that we're able to bring in all facets of CSI, whether it's HR, IT, accounting, finance, recruiting, sales, marketing. We're able to all work together. We do a lot of fun collaboration, fun events. We all, we'll play all flag football out there, and it's all one team. And so we are one brand and one voice. But I think it's time that we, put that out there externally and make sure our clients know that we're all aligned. We're all working with the same guidelines and same vision, even with specific verticals that we're focused on.
Yeah, and I think too, like, I just love how supportive you guys are of everyone in this company. If anyone has an idea, you have the opportunity to stop you both in the hallway and talk about that idea. And you guys, I think, set yourselves apart from other C-suite executives because you take the time to listen to everyone in the office, because to you, they are a person, they have ideas, and they are worthy of hearing those ideas. And I just think it's very refreshing to have that walking through our halls and hyping each other up. And you guys are also, like, we have an incredible wellness program here. And I kind of want to talk about that because I know, Chris, you love wellness. Kate, you love wellness. But, like, why to CSI, when you walk in these doors, I always get that, oh my God, this is like a resort. Everyone is just so friendly, so helpful. But like, then you take a look at our gym and the offerings that we give people there. And, Chris, from your perspective as CEO, why do we offer, those wellness initiatives for people to go and take a workout at lunch? We have trainers here, all that, but why is that important to you for your employees?
Well, I think it kind of goes back in time to why did we start, why did we have a gym in the first place? And, we talk a lot about work hard, play hard. And I think for us, we have high expectations of our employees. We have high expectations of ourselves. And I think so an extension of that is, give people an opportunity to get down there and have a good workout. So a lot of it was about, if you feel good about yourself, it really carries over into your job. And I think, getting a good workout in and feeling, just that feeling that you get of camaraderie in the gym, but really just improving yourself, it really corresponds to the work that you do. And I think, when you get that good workout in the gym and then you come up in the afternoon and you're sitting at your desk, you feel, you've got kind of invigorated from that. So that's sort of how it started is, we figured that people that you could really get an idea of somebody's work ethic from what they were doing in some of the classes that we had with our trainers. And then you get a good sense for who that person is. If they're really working hard in the gym and getting a good workout in, and then they go up, they're going to be productive in the afternoon. So at the beginning, it was sort of, it was almost a little bit like, well, how can we help grow our business? And it was sort of that. And then it's just evolved to, it's a big part of who we are. Like, it's important, the run club, that's an important thing for us. And the different trainers, whether it's strength or high intensity things, like all of those things are employee wellness. But at the same time, it's just all about that helping people feel really good about themselves and be healthy. And I think that's a big part of the culture. So it's really, it's a fun part of us. We kind of call it PE class, like, you're just excited like being in high school again, but at the same time, it's just a big foundation of who we are.
Yeah, I would agree. And when you're talking about, when I started at CSI 17 years ago, one quote that has stayed the same has been work hard, play hard. And I remember it was on printer paper. This is showing that it's with like the edges with the holes that you're normally supposed to.
Oh, no.
It was taped up with the edges with the holes. So that's kind of dating ourselves. But it was up there. And that's one quote that stayed the same. And it's a philosophy that we have. And it's like, Chris empowers us to be able to have PE class, to go out and work it out and to sweat and enjoy some physical activity and to really challenge yourself. And I think there's so many analogies to how it kind of you'll operate in a work environment too. I think we're a big believer of challenging yourself and to push yourself. And Chris has a CEO challenge normally, once a quarter to really do something that people can participate in. It doesn't matter your athletic capability, but something that will challenge yourself that you just have to work towards and chip away. And that mindset is something that you can put towards work. Although you can have a big quota at the end of the year, you can have a big race that you're challenging yourself for, but if you work a little bit at it every day, you're going to get better. And that's a philosophy that I think we can take in both wellness and in our work environment. And it's really cool that we encourage each other. And there's days that I haven't wanted to participate in the CEO challenge, and Chris says, I know you're going to like this. You got to do it. And I complain. Then I do it. I'm like, I feel so much better. Let's go and get fired up. And so it's really that mindset. And it's, it really goes back to the family feel of kind of pushing each other along the way, doing our best work in any capability. It's pretty empowering.
I love that. And Kate, you have a quote that I love that you say. It's iron sharpens iron, if I said that correctly.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what wellness does here is we sharpen each other every day when we go down to the gym, not only physically, but mentally too. We're mentally getting stronger because we are doing like strength training. I'll use that as an example. We have an incredible strength trainer here who gives us the confidence to lift heavier, which then gives us the confidence to maybe go for that bigger client, It
goes back to coachability too. Like, it's very important in the business world that people remain coachable. I think, people get to be a little bit older in their career and they figure, I've got it all figured out. I don't really, but the reality is, you get down there, you kind of humble yourself in a gym and listen to a trainer, and he or she challenges you to do things that you don't know that you can do. It's the same way in the world of work. I think a lot of times people limit themselves, and I think getting down in the gym and getting coached really, really corresponds back to the business world. Like, you come in and you've got somebody like Kate that's a great motivator, that says, look, don't take no for an answer. We have something that they need, and you need to help them understand that. And you make an extra phone call, but it takes, you have to be coachable. And I think that really does help, which is a big part of our culture as well. Like, we try and talk about, nobody's got it all figured out. Like, we're trying to figure things out every single year. And I hope that we were, as leaders, we remain coachable. But I did want to just say one thing real quick. So going back to your question earlier before we talked about wellness, I think diversity of thought, like, as I think about, like, so what really, what's different about CSI? I think we talked a lot about diversity, but I think we challenge ourselves to bring in people that think differently, because you want as many opinions as you can possibly get. And I think we've gotten better as we've had more opinions from the outside. So we brought in some incredible leaders, bringing in Melissa and Josh and some of the other people that have come in. It's really been incredible because they bring in such good and different experience. And so a lot of times they challenge the way that we think, or the way that, we structured things a certain way. And then all of a sudden you're like, never really thought about it that way. But I think that's a good thing about CSI. It all kind of goes together. But I think when we challenge ourselves to get better, we consider alternative opinions. Like, that's all about the culture that we have here. And, it's uncomfortable for some people. Like, sometimes you come in and you're not used to being pushed maybe more than you'd want to push yourself. But that's sort of what we do in, trying to grow this business. You get to be $500 million by pushing each other, and to get to $1 billion, that's what we have to do. We have to push each other. So.
And Chris, I want to go back to that $1 billion goal. Do you and Kate want to talk a little bit more about that goal, that big
Well, it's
goal?
a real goal. I mean, I think when I first was recruited to come here all those years ago, I bought into our CEO at the time, Eric's vision of being $1 billion company one day. And I think, sometimes you can throw those numbers out and you're like, we'll get there. It'll take 10 years and we'll be there. Well, the reality is it takes a lot of time, but it takes a lot of commitment. Now it's real. Once you surpass 500 million in revenue, you start really setting bigger goals. And for us, I think the $1 billion is, that's still the mark. And I think for the first time we can all kind of see it, right? You see it in the future as a realistic, and I would say it's gone from, we're not really a goal anymore. It's an expectation that we're going to get there. And that's going to be a lot of work, right? It's going to be more people and a lot more responsibility for some people. But it's a real thing that we see down the road in the next 3 or 4 years. So for us, it's real. Like it's, we don't just talk about it.
It's tangible. You can
we
taste
see
it.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can touch it. Kate, from an operations perspective, like, how do you feel about that? How do you see that us getting there?
Yeah, I think for some people that can sound like an overwhelming goal that we have to, that we're going to reach $1 billion. But going back to chipping away, doing better every day. How can we sell more? How can we think differently? And how can we grow? I think you get there. And I think that's how we got to where we are today. Again, never in our right mind do we think by this time that we would get to this size. We've done it, and it's very exciting. But we're never, taking a step back. We're never taking our foot off the gas pedal. We're going just straight forward. And I think there's a huge trajectory here. I think we have a huge opportunity, and I think we maintain our culture, and I think we maintain our family. I actually saw someone yesterday that is a football coach that was part of a Super Bowl winning team in the NFL, and we were talking. And we're like, what was it like to win the Super Bowl? What made you guys special? Because it seems like a daunting task, right? And he was like, well, at the end of the day, it was the love in the locker room. We were not going to let each other down. And I really think that goes back to who we are. And I know we have a lot of, we enjoy wellness. We have a lot of, athletic type comparisons that we bring it back to, playing sports, what that's like. But it's really true. I think, everybody here and those that have been here at CSI for a long time, we're in lockstep together. We are a family. We're not going to let each other down. And that goes back to iron sharpening iron. It goes back to we're working together to reach that goal. And then it doesn't seem that crazy. Like if every one of us, are in lockstep and do a little bit better, that goal is easy. We'll be there in no time.
I love that you said that, Kate, and I love the story that you shared. I think that's really inspiring as we all come from different backgrounds, have opportunities to meet different people, but at the end of the day, we bring it back to share it with everyone else, to motivate them, to inspire them a little bit more. And I think what is so amazing about CSI is you think of corporate and it's just the stuck up, stuffy thing, but looking at us today, we are the exact opposite. Like when I meet people, I joke I work for the Google of Jacksonville because we are innovators at the end of the day. We are trying to not fit in a box, but break out of the box and be different from everyone else, because that's who we are at the end of the day. We aren't just CSI, but we are CSI Companies, and we care deeply about what we do and who we help. And the clients are actually our friends at the end of the day, I feel like.
I think we don't take ourselves too serious. I mean, we talk about, some that
gotta have some fun.
Yeah, that whole corporate stuff you feel. That's the opposite of what we've ever wanted to do here. And, I think people that have been with us on this journey would say, they've done a pretty good job of keeping level heads and not getting too full of themselves. I mean, I think the only way that we can continue to move ahead is we just have to keep trying new things and realizing that we don't have everything figured out. And over the course of time, we'll get there. I think about the task to $1 billion to me is, it's not that the $1 billion is the magical thing. It's the fact that we're going to have new offerings and new things that we do, because the things that we do now, we do very well. But the only way that you continue to grow up on that, right? You still have to maintain that base. You got to do the new stuff good too. And I think that's what we're working on right now, is continuing to add lines of business that make sense for our clients, make sense for us, and things that we can do well, right? We don't want to just go out there and it's not just about a number for the sake of the number. It's about building a business that is solid foundationally all the way through, that we know we can do what we say we can do.
I love that. And so my last question of the day is, what is your one wellness tip you would give to someone?
Oh, wow.
Your one wellness tip that makes you feel like you can take on the day. Is it working out in the morning, in the afternoon? Is it a supplement? Like, what's your one wellness tip you would give to someone?
I'll let you go. Ladies first.
Well, my wellness tip is, and I don't mean to be too general, but it's kind of, the same thing with work, same thing with wellness, is you got to keep chipping away.
Yeah.
You got to keep showing up. You got to put one foot in front of the other. So a lot of us here at CSI, we are participating in a big run this weekend.
Yes.
Again, it can seem overwhelming, and you can seem like, oh, did I do enough training? Did I do the right things? Well, you've done training. You've gotten the work behind you. If you work at CSI, you have a great support system, but you got to keep chipping away. And it's really a big thing. People want to quit in a lot of aspects of life. And for me, wellness is just that. It's not always going to be perfect. I didn't follow the complete plan perfectly. And, don't get disappointed in yourself. If you're making progress, if you're doing good things, and if you're challenging yourself, you're really doing a good thing in wellness. And I think that's important as we continue to grow older and professionally. You got to take care of yourself. You got to listen to your body, but you also, I think it's very healthy for yourself to always challenge yourself.
It's so funny. I would have said almost exact. So to me, it's just consistency.
Yeah.
Like you just have to be consistent. And, you have good days and bad days, and you have days where you don't feel like getting down there, and there's days you don't feel like coming to work, right? I mean, it's funny, you see funny TikToks sometimes where people sit in a car and they're like challenging themselves to actually go in and work today, And so the reality is you just be consistent and you just show up. I think a lot of people don't realize that. If you get yourself in there, next thing you know, you're in the middle of a workout and you look back and that wasn't so tough. I'm sure glad I did it. So
I know if I don't show up for the run tomorrow, I'm going to have 40 people calling me. So
Yes.
keep each other accountable and show up for it.
Well, Chris and Kate, thank you so much for joining Not Your
Sam.
Average Co.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll be on again. Maybe. If
We'll
I
see
can.
if we're invited.
Yeah,
We'll
no, you'll be invited. You'll be invited on our next episode.
That was the worst podcast I've ever seen.
No.
Thank
Next
you.
time we can talk about whatever topic Chris wants to talk about. But
Appreciate it, Sam.
thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for following us, and stay tuned for more of Not Your Average Co. Thank you.